This is Concrete Canvas, Episode 1. Today on the show, Simon Lau and I are here to discuss the differences in street art and graffiti. As a kid, I never saw a difference in the two, but it turned out that there's a big difference between street art and graffiti, and it's all in intention. You can almost tell the difference in street art and graffiti in the same way how a bee and a wasp live. They both look very similar in nature, but their behaviors tell completely different stories. Now tell me, Simon, what is your personal definition of what graffiti is and what is street art?
To me, the only difference between street art and graffiti is the legality behind it. Street art is accepted by the public, while graffiti isn't. It's done for much more selfish reasons.
Well, that's true. But then there's also another big difference between street art and graffiti, and it really lies under intentions, as it turns out. Because it actually turns out that there are 4 different types of graffiti that are officially classified by the police. Falling into one of these categories indicates graffiti, but as well, it all boils down to its intention. While a street artist wants to let the general public appreciate their art by putting it up on the streets for all to see, a graffiti tagger will only care if their work is seen by other taggers in the area or the police, sort of like a dog marking his territory. One of the most obvious forms of graffiti is gang graffiti. They're usually written in code words, so it could mean anything else to the regular passerby.
That reminds me a lot of the hacking game.
Watch Dogs?
Yeah, that reminds me a lot of Watch Dogs.
Then there's tagger graffiti. It's what the average person with a marker might do. It can range to a single word or a nickname to something distinctive drawing that they can do over and over again, like an American Vandal. Did you ever see that show?
No.
Did you ever hear about it?
Yeah, I heard some things about it.
Okay, it was really good. And then there's conventional graffiti. If one has done it without premeditation or any real plans to do it again, then it's the act that is often labeled as youthful exuberance.
You can see a lot of that in some of the how should I say, less managed streets, but it's not such a bad thing.
Are you sure?
I don't mind it.
Okay. Then there's ideological graffiti. Hate speech against a specific religion or belief lets the message fall into this category, and often it's done with very malicious intentions.
This is something I don't quite agree. As somebody who has pretty big interest in religion and mythology, I'm not very in line with that kind of action. It's one thing to have a hurtful opinion about another person's religious views, but writing it out in public and for everybody else to see, it hurts other people, and it's not very appropriate.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, there is the built of free speech as it is built into our rights and our constitutions, but there is the intention of taking advantage of that sometimes. And that's where it's hard to draw that line between free speech and hate speech. But we have another episode where we discuss that at length. This has been Concrete Canvas. I'm Connor Svensrud.
I'm Simon Lau.
And we'll talk at you next week.